they know what they're doing. I'm not saying that they don't know what they're doing. There's a manipulation on both sides. It's just the manipulation on the beautiful woman's side is more subtle. It's more focused on getting long-term benefits, whereas the baddie is using her manipulation. It's more overt, because it's overt sexually, and it's being used to get attention and short-term attention. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Marvel of the Matter, back with another video. And today what I'm going to talk about is the beautiful woman and the baddie. What's the difference, right? What's the difference between a beautiful woman and a baddie? So I had a few people ask me to do this, especially women. Once they saw my kind of like my ladies rating from ugly to beautiful, they were kind of like, oh, well, what about baddies? What about this? What about that? I had a few guys kind of ask me about, like, you know, more high maintenance girls, and specifically asked me about baddies. So I'm like, okay, this is obviously a video that people want. And I just wanted to take my time to kind of really make sure that I did it right and really thought about it. So first I want to start off by just kind of describing what a beautiful girl is, my definition, and then describing what a baddie is. And then we'll take it from there, because I noticed that there's like 3 major differences. But yeah, here's the descriptions. So a beautiful woman is going to have, obviously, natural physical appeal. Like, she's going to be very physically appealing, and it's going to be like without any cosmetic surgery, anything. It's just her, how she was born. Her genetics are going to just make her very physically appealing, right? She's gonna be very, like, graceful, I guess is the best word. Feminine, soft. There's going to be like an elegance, a classiness about her. That's kind of how she's going to present to the world. And then she's also going to be innocent. There's going to be a level of innocence or modesty. Innocence or modesty. And those are kind of the descriptors for a beautiful woman. Now, a baddie can be artificially attained, right? She can have surgery to become a baddie. She's going to wear a lot of makeup, and that might, you know, contouring her face might make her look like a baddie. You know, just all the extras that women do, you know, it will take her from, you know, not being the most attractive girl to being a more attractive girl. Like I said, whether that's surgery or, you know, just regular cosmetics. She's going to have a bit more of like a look at me type of personality, a bit more of like an attention seeking type of personality. She might be more assertive, like assert her presence in the environment. She's going to assert her presence in the environment because, like I said, she wants to get that attention. She wants people to look at her and see her, right? And it's going to be presented very sexually, not wholesome, not anything like that. Sex is going to be the leading, sex is going to be leading the way, right? Her sexuality. So those are kind of how I differentiate a beautiful woman and a baddie. Now, I did want to say a baddie can naturally be beautiful though. But there's a difference between like a natural baddie and like an artificial baddie. So I'll talk about that probably in another video, to be honest. But right now, today, I'm just kind of going to talk about artificial baddies. All right, so the 3 main things that I realize are different in the beautiful woman and the baddie are genetics, mentality, and behavior. Those 3 things are going to be different. All right, so I'll start with the genetics, because it kind of like tells a story. So like I said, she's going to be naturally beautiful. So her genetics are just really good, right? And there's something about natural beauty that causes like awe in people. It causes more admiration. It causes more of like a reaction than artificial, right? So she's going to have, you know, beautiful skin. She's going to have beautiful eyes, beautiful, everything's going to be beautiful on a beautiful woman, and it's not really going to require much effort. She might wear some cover up, wear some mascara. You know, that's going to help a little bit, right? That might accentuate some things, but she doesn't need to wear these things. Whereas the baddie needs to wear these things or needs to get a surgery in order to even get the features. But there's something about the artificial that's just, humans don't react the same way, right? We don't react the same way to that, especially in a face. A body, maybe you can get away with it a little bit. The body, they can kind of like, you know, do their body and you can't really tell, especially if they're using like they were bigger Now they're just getting reduction. You can't really tell. It's still their body, but it's like, you know, it's been tampered with. You can't really tell as much. But with the face, we can really tell the difference between a beautiful natural face and a beautiful artificial face. And we respond very differently to those things. I'll give you an example with teeth, right? So let's say you run into somebody and they have really straight, really white teeth. And you're like, wow, your teeth are really, really white and really, really straight, right? You admire it, you see it, you're like, oh, wow, that's impressive. Like those teeth are really, you know, they're really straight. They're like, that's crazy. Now, the next question that usually follows is, did you have braces? Did you have braces? That's almost always the next question. We're not satisfied with just knowing, okay, you know, you have beautiful teeth. Great, you know, that's great for you. Wow, it's so great. We need to know, are those real, right? Is that you? Are those your teeth? And then when somebody says, no, I never had braces, you're like, oh, wow. Now there's another level of impressed, right? That people usually reach. There's a new level of awe. And that's because it's like, oh, this is just your genetics. This is your natural, like, this is you. I can't recreate this. This cannot be recreated. You know what I'm saying? And that is something that in humans, we really value. We really value good genetics, right? We're asking, is it real? Because we want to know how impressed should we be, right? Is this something that like, oh, anybody with money could just get it? Or is it like, oh, wow, this is like, you know, God-given. Nature gave you this. Nature just gave you these beautiful teeth or these beautiful eyes, whatever it is. You know, people have nice eye color. They'll be like, are those your real eyes, right? We want to know what's real because we value what's real more. So a beautiful woman's looks are going to be valued more. There's going to be more of an awe, like I said, to those looks. Now, a baddie is still going to get, you know, her fair share, especially online. She's going to look good because a lot of times the faces that, you know, people get, they look really good in pictures and online and, you know, that type of thing. But when you see them in person, it's a little bit, you can tell. We can always tell the difference, right? So that'll be the difference genetically. And then on the mentality piece, right, a lot of these girls who are beautiful are just kind of born that way. So they might even be really cute little girls. And then, you know, in middle school, they're you know, pretty girls. And then high school, they kind of blossom a little bit more into beautiful girls. They hit puberty, all this type of stuff happens. So they're getting attention. They've been getting attention. And they don't really have to do much for it, especially if they kind of got beautiful later, like middle school, high school. It might come out of nowhere to them, right? And they don't really know what's going on. And they might even be a little bit, I've mentioned that beautiful women are confident, but beautiful girls might be a little bit more uncomfortable with it because they're not doing anything to get attention. So it's like, why am I getting this attention? It might make them a little bit uncomfortable because guys just want them, you know, and they're like, I'm not doing anything. So it's a little bit of a weird thing, especially if it's not happening to their friends. They have nobody to really relate to with it. They're just kind of going to be like, you know, and some girls might shy away from it and become very, very modest, right? And you know, against it. Some girls are going to be more neutral to it. Like, okay, you know, this is what it is. And I'm just going to continue to be me. And some girls are going to be, you know, lean into it and be like, oh, okay, this is what these guys want. I see. All right, now let me take advantage of it. And that's going to depend on, you know, how she was brought up, her environment, her outside influences. All these types of things are going to influence how she responds to it. There's no one way. There's no, you know, if this happened, then she's going to be like this. It's just like a mix of temperament and everything that goes into, you know, what makes people people. But some of them are going to lean into it. And those are going to be the natural baddies, right? And so that's a different topic. I'm going to have a separate video, like I said, natural baddies versus artificial baddies. But that is a possibility. Now, the ones that stay neutral or, you know, shy away from it, those are going to be the beautiful women that grow up and they're modest and they're not really like it. Eventually, over time, even the ones who shy away from it are gonna realize like, okay, this is what it is, because they're not gonna be confused about it anymore. They're gonna be comfortable with it because it's just their life. So you're not gonna meet a 25-year-old beautiful woman who's still nervous and shy about guys, right? Maybe in her teen years, maybe even her early 20s, but by the time she's 25, she's gonna be, you know, comfortable in her beauty and she's gonna know, right? And that's where I say it's gonna transfer from that innocence that she might have to modesty, where she knows what's going on, but she knows she doesn't have to flaunt herself sexually in order to get the attention, because she's been getting the attention, right? That's one of the major differences between her and the natural baddie. Now, the mentality of the artificial baddie, right, is that she's probably not a girl that's just getting unwarranted attention like that. She's probably not really getting, she sees the beautiful girls, we all do, and we see that, all guys like this one girl the most. That's how it goes. The same thing on the flip side. There'll be a guy that all the girls really like the most. But she sees this, and she kind of knows, all right, that's not me, but I want this, right? So this is going to be, these girls are going to, it's going to be many of them. And these girls are going to, want to wear the makeup and want to dress a certain way and do everything that they can to get attention, right? This is purely coming from the mentality that, like, okay, I'm not sufficient. Myself is not sufficient to get the attention that I want to get. I can't get the attention of the guys that I want. I can't get as much attention as I want. I'm not getting treated the way that I want to by guys. So I'm going to play up as much as I can on my looks, right? So these girls will be wearing a bunch of makeup. They'll be dressed provocatively. Once they get the go-ahead from parents, or once they get to the age where they can and afford it, they'll get surgeries to change how they look and, really try to maximize their looks for the purpose of getting attention, right? The main thing for these girls is getting attention. They really want to get attention. The beautiful girls don't care to have attention. They're gonna get attention because they're beautiful, so they don't really need to strive to get attention. But a baddie is striving to get attention. When she's in an environment, she's dressed a certain way, she might behave a certain way to get attention, to get these things. She might be twerking somewhere, or just wearing a really short skirt, or wearing see-through clothing, all this type of stuff. And it's going to be very sexualized. It's going to be very sexualized because that's the fastest way to get attention, right? That's the most potent way to get a guy's attention, is to be sexual. So it's going to immediately, he's going to be like, oh, I want her. And he's going to go up, and they're going to have a short-term interaction. As soon as he can get what he wants to get, it's probably going to be over. I feel like baddies don't really realize that until they're older. Like, okay, these guys just want to sleep with you. Whereas beautiful women, that same thing might happen to them early on, but eventually they realize that, okay, I see what's happening, because they're just fundamentally on a mental level, they're different types of people. That's really the main difference, is that they're different types of people. A beautiful woman is not going to be searching for attention and needing attention, and so that the mentality that she has is she's not going to be searching for attention. She doesn't need the quick attention of a guy, because first of all, she's going to get the attention of men, so she doesn't have to try, and second of all, she doesn't need it anyways, right? She's just a different type of person fundamentally. So when she sees that, okay, this is not leading anywhere, she realizes, okay, I have to weed out these types of guys. Whereas the baddie is a woman who's going to need that attention. She wants that validation. She wants that attention. So what she does is she tries to get it, and the fastest way to get it is to be sexual, and she gets it. And so she just continually gets it from however many guys. They'll date different guys frequently. They won't stay with the same guy. They might be a bit more promiscuous, all these types of things, because they are looking for attention fundamentally. That's what their drive is. So even though they're not getting the long-term commitment from a guy, that's not really what they're looking for. They're really looking for the attention, so they're getting what they want. So they end up dealing with a bunch of different guys, and over time they'll eventually realize, like, oh, this doesn't mean anything, especially once they start to lose their looks a little bit. That's why they try to hold on to their looks so much. They try so hard to hold on to their looks. I mean, even beautiful women try to hold on to their looks, but there's more of an effort to hold on to their looks and get more surgery and do more this and do more that for girls that are baddies, because once the attention starts to fade, they're panicking. So they're just going to do more of what got them the attention in the first place. And this is how you end up with, these baddie 30-year-old, baddie 40-year-olds, you know, who are just, you know, on Instagram, you know, still showing whatever they're showing, doing whatever they're doing. They're grandmas at this point, and they still are doing these things because all that matters to them is attention and validation. And it's because deep down inside, there's an insecurity that they're not adequate. There's a feeling of inadequacy in a baddie, right? And so she needs to put on this performance. She needs to do this thing in order to attain the attention and the validation that she's good enough. You know, she gets a surgery, she needs to show it off so that she knows, okay, you know, this is a good thing, this worked, you know, and she needs to constantly get that reassurance. A beautiful woman didn't do anything in the beginning to get attention, so there's nothing that she's gonna feel adequate. She's gonna feel it, but even if she doesn't feel it at first, if it feels like, why is this happening to me? By 25, like I said, you're not gonna meet a beautiful woman who's not confident in herself, who's like, okay, I know that I'm beautiful, I know how guys respond to me, I know what it is. Whether they are successful at, you know, getting married or not, whatever, they're going to know where they stand for sure, and they're not searching for the attention. They might. Now, I'm not saying beautiful women are just the most angelic things on earth, no, right? They know how to maneuver. That's why I said either innocent or modest, because when they're younger, it may be an innocence, and maybe like, I don't really know what's going on, you know, and they're just kind of floating. But then once they get older, there's an effort to get what they want with their beauty. Of course, you know, we're all humans. If you have some type of power, we're going to use it. So they're going to use it. They're going to use their power of beauty to get what they want. But what they want is not just, you know, shallow attention. It might be, I want to marry this type of guy. I want to, you know, I want this type of lifestyle. So I'm going to put myself in the position to be around these guys and get this because they already know it's going to happen. They already know when they get around guys, how guys respond. So they're just like, okay, let me put myself around the guys that I want, and then I'll weed out and find the best one, right? And they'll, you know, they might play up the innocence. They might play up the, you know, the modesty of like, oh, you know, I'm just, they know what they're doing. I'm not saying that they don't know what they're doing. There's a manipulation on both sides. It's just the manipulation on the beautiful woman's side is more subtle. It's more focused on getting long-term benefits, whereas the baddie is using her manipulation. It's more overt, because it's overt sexually, and it's being used to get attention and short-term attention. And she might get some things out of it, right? But her main thing is going to be to get that validation, to get that attention, to get that reassurance that like, you're good enough, you're good enough, you're good, we want you, we like you, you know, that. And this is why they put on the performance that they do in order to, you know, get that. So those are the main things I see. The genetics, like I said, beautiful is more natural. It causes more of an awe. There's more of a reaction to it. Baddie is more like, okay, she looks like, she look good. It might be sexy, it might be all these types of things, but it doesn't cause that like awe. And I want to say about that awe, like, especially when it's paired with modesty, there's a certain level of respect that comes with that, right? There's a certain level of like, when a beautiful woman is approached by a man, it's going to be on a more respectful level. A beautiful, modest woman is going to get approached more respectfully, more, it might be to the detriment, right? Because guys are trying to, you know, be nice, and that's not what attracts a woman. You know, they might come up to her like too respectfully in a way where they're not treating her like a person. And that is a bad side, a downside, I should say, of being a beautiful woman, is like, you may get treated like you're more than just normal, when on the inside you're just normal, you know. So that can be a downside of being beautiful. And a baddie is that she's not going to have that problem. The guys are going to approach her more on a sexual tip because she's promoting herself sexually. So they're going to treat her more, you know, they're going to be more assertive, they're going to be more aggressive with her, which attracts women, which is attractive to women. So, you know, the baddie is going to have more like better interactions as far as like sexually with men. As far as like moving towards that like relationship, they're gonna have those, and it's gonna be more instant, and it's gonna be more, you know, fun and active, and, you know, it's gonna feel better, right? It's gonna feel better in the short term. In the long term, you know, the beautiful woman might find a guy who, you know, eventually can treat her like a normal person, and then once she finds that guy who treats her like a normal person, You know, if he has the other qualities that she likes, and, you know, whatever lifestyle she's looking for, if he can provide that for her, then that can work out, and she'll be cool with, you know, she's not looking for the attention, so she'll be cool with like settling down. A baddie is gonna always need that attention. Even if she's with you, even if she's with a guy, she's gonna still need that attention, because that's what's driving her. Until she fixes that insecurity. And a lot of times, you know, women will get older and they'll realize that, oh wow, you know, I've just been looking for, I haven't been looking for the right things. I don't know if they'll realize it was validation or attention seeking. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but they'll realize like, okay, what I'm doing is not working, and it's not going to get me to this goal, this long-term goal. Because deep down, I think women always have that goal, but that immediate goal of getting the validation sometimes blinds them from seeing that it's going to get you that validation, right? Being sexual, but it's also going to block off your long-term prospects, because guys that are going to look at a woman and want them long-term are not going to approach or be interested in a girl who promotes herself for short-term attention, right? It's just, it's not going to work like that. So a lot of times they'll get older and realize it, and then you know, they'll make a change and become more modest and you know, kind of mature. But yeah, those are the main differences that I realized between the beautiful woman and the baddie. Not to say that either one is better or worse. They both have their upsides and their downsides, but there is a difference. There's definitely a difference. And the next video is going to be on the natural baddie versus the artificial baddie, which is what I talked about today, the artificial baddie. All right, so that's the video for today. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Drop some more topics in the comment section. I got the coaching calls in the description box, Instagram in the description box. And you know what it is. It's mind over matter, marvel over matter. Let's get it.